Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace. I'm coming to you from Canada, and today we're looking at more embarrassing moments for some Americans. Americans. If you get that reference from Trailer Park Boys, you are the goated person on the internets. All right, number 26. Let's hop into it. Let's get into it. Let's jump into it. It's going to be spectaculational, phenomenational, whatever made up words you want to use today. Hope you had a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening. Yeah. Let's get it. There's a National Gallery in Washington, D.C. How can this be today when it's 7:45 a.m. and this says it happened at 11 a.m.? Hi there. We are the National Gallery in London. Maybe put that on your screen name. There's a National Gallery in Washington, D.C. Karen comment of the morning. And she has a Karen photo. Thank you, Karen, for your input. We'll take that into consideration. Wait, what? 2 national galleries? Imagine the confusion if there were other nations with galleries as well as these 2. Other nations that might have national things, such as galleries. And, there's so many things in the world that have the same name. Yeah. Number 27. Someone doesn't understand day, month, year. Date. Please enter today's date. They put 01, 14, 26. The problem is there isn't 14 months in a year, so that's not going to work. Yeah, mate, there's not 14 months, Joe Allen said. Thank you for the input, Joe Allen. I always try to figure out if the middle date, if more than 12, how do you know if it was written by someone American or European? This is actually a fairly decent point because there is a contingent of people on both sides of the date formatting usage debate, and it's true. Some people do it one way, some people do it another way. Sometimes the whole year is at the front, which is probably, when it comes to like record keeping, you'd probably want it like that, right? Like if you're searching up records for 2023, obviously you wouldn't want it to be the other way around. I'm trying to think of because I was a police dispatcher for a while, and I've been trying to think if we did day, month, year on our dispatch system, on our CAD, or if we did month, day, year. I honestly can't remember. I remember that I became very adept, and quickly you become very good at recognizing immediately which number corresponds to which month. So like 8 August, right? It's like just right away. 7 July. 10 October. I started to immediately recognize them, which is pretty easy to train your mind to do. The thing with AI is people are going to stop doing stuff like that. They're going to stop learning. They're just going to use the AI. If you have an AI thing on your, delete that shit, man. You're making yourself stupider. Some people aren't always ignorant on purpose. Maybe they just haven't had the chance to learn or the right environment or sources to help them. This is true. This is very true. Yeah, we can't deny the fact that a lot of people online say things just to get a reaction, which is one of the major problems with social media. And, it's really wreaking havoc with the mental health of young people and just adults too, and aren't that interested in educating themselves. In that case, the best response might be no response at all. Sometimes the smartest move is simply choose your battles. Not every dumb remark needs your rebuttal. Yeah, that's true. Take the high road. Just don't even bother yourself with that garbage. Don't let it use up any of your precious brain power. Number 28, this comment. Okay, let's check this one out, you guys. Quote, little plastic molecules, unquote. Y'all do realize a sponge isn't any betters. Interesting to put a Z on the end of that. Maybe they meant a real sponge, not a plastic sponge. I think sponges are just made out of plastic. You do realize all sponges are made out of tiny plastic fibers. Sad SpongeBob noises. Sometimes, you guys, I just don't know. I just don't even know. I think of that meme from Terminator 2, Judgment Day, when John Connor, he looks to Sarah and he says, "We're not going to make it, are we?" Or is it the Terminator? I can't remember if he says this to Sarah or the Terminator. We're not gonna make it, are we? With his, his whiny little voice. Hey, I shouldn't talk. I hate my voice. Number 29. I'm 100% Italian. Grew up in Chicago. I'm 100% Italian. I've never seen anyone eat pizza with a fork and knife other than deep dish Chicago pizza when I grew up there. How are you Italian if you grew up in Chicago? I've seen Italians in Rome eating Neapolitan pizza with fork and knife, and also other Italians with hands. Because my parents are Italian. Is that a serious question? I don't care what you've seen. I gave my opinion on my culture. You don't gatekeep my opinions, woman. Besides the woman comment, I don't really... I mean, I'm kind of sympathetic to his point. I mean, if both his parents are Italian, if he's 100% Italian lineage, then yeah, he's 100%... He would be 100% Italian. I mean, he's not literally... If he doesn't hold an Italian passport, yeah, he's not. But, like... he has an Italian heritage. He's not talking about being like a passport holder and literally living in Italy. But, oh well. Malta Nocte noted the woman. Number 33. I disagree with his reasoning, but I must admit, France would be much better off without French. Why is everything on here in French? What the hell is going on in this French Reddit? This sub is supposed to be about the place, not the language. Reddit is American. Huh? And we speak English. I'm surprised they didn't say we speak American. Edit. Touchy bunch, I guess. Some of you are downright mean. Well, you are downright ignorant. You might find way too many French speakers in France itself, too. Be careful. Always wanted to visit France. I don't know. Maybe someday. 31. American is too big for public transport. I assume they mean America, or the United States of America is too big for public transport. America is too big for public transport. No, that's patently false. You could have really nice high-speed rail and train systems and much better networks of public transit within metropolitan areas, but those ideas and that infrastructure and any sort of city planning for it was snuffed out decades ago, if not centuries ago. I mean, big oil. And you got to have cars on the road. You got to have everybody in a car spending money on gas. That's the best way to go. Cities are for cars, not people. America is too big for public transport. Nobody understands that. England is tiny. It's not that tiny. I mean, it's small in comparison to the United States of America, but France is tiny. France isn't really that tiny. All nations in Europe are tiny. Everybody's tiny. So public transit makes sense. Nobody seems to understand just how far people drive just to go to work, church, school, etc. In Europe, traveling more than 10K for a commute probably doesn't happen much. In America, a lot of the people drive 30 minutes to 1 hour for work alone. I can imagine a 30-minute to 1 hour to work. That's insanity. I would not stay at that job. But yeah, this comes down to just different cultural norms when it comes to how governments and policymakers have prioritized public transit, and how they probably looked at a lot of it and was like, well, like say the Netherlands, for instance, where they have such a robust and efficient cycling network. And yeah, the country is small in comparison to the US, but the thing is, even the big cities in the US aren't really that safe, and the infrastructure for walking, the walkability is typically not great, or at least a lot worse than the the European cities. But the net benefit of having people cycling and walking and running and doing physical exercise, recreational activities, you're going to have a net positive net benefit eventually and throughout the long run when, the health system is not getting bogged down by overweight people. You want to improve and encourage, I think, cycling, walking, and a lot of areas in the US and Canada too, right? We have these you look at suburbs, how can kids walk anywhere? They need a 30-minute drive to go to the park. Or they might have one like little, you know, decrepit little piece of crap park in their like suburb, but the walkability of suburbs destroyed America, destroyed the West. I do think we could do a lot better job having like mixed use areas. There should be, a grocery store or cafe on the bottom, and then an apartment above it, and then next to it there's a friggin', I don't know, like a park, and then you got houses right over there and apartments. Everything should be just like mixed so people can create community instead of having everything so segmented and like everybody needs vehicles here. Where I live in particular, you could survive without a vehicle, but it's going to be inconvenient. I mean, you would have to factor in where you work and can you take the bus to get there? Can you get there on time? And if you want to do recreational activities, it's like, nice try. This person altered the comment to, Americans are too big for public transport. Fixed it. I like that. That's a good joke. Number 32. The cities are no different than ours. My American dream is an EU passport. I want that freedom so bad. These people are not free. I'm in Europe right now and they don't make that much money. No AC in the homes. Their food is super healthier than ours, but that's it. Cities are no different than ours. The cities are quite a bit different. That said, most metropolitan cities they do have certain things that can be attractive when you're looking at a place to live, but the EU makes ease of travel between all those countries in Europe so easy. Not to mention the economic benefits and things like that. I'm not an expert on how the EU operates, of course, but yeah, this person saying that they're not free and having this American exceptionalist attitude is pretty typical. Pretty typical, I'm gonna say very strongly that I've made better cities than Europe. Bigger, better, very strongly. Cities are the same in Europe. Wow. Although they're typically a bit older. Yeah, a lot more history. That might scare some Americans. Yeah. Girl. Okay, so we have a tweet or a post from the U.S. National Weather Service. A tsunami watch has been issued for the state of Hawaii due to a 7.5 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Russia. Please visit tsunami.gov for more info. Is no one questioning how an earthquake in Russia would affect Hawaii? Methinks they're using a flat earth map, maybe. This person is just literally incredibly stupid. They don't understand how tsunamis even work or they just, yeah. One more beer, please. I got one beer left. Rappers, they are all in your ears and like we are deaf. Sorry, I was trying to quote some MF Doom for y'all. Big MF Doom fan right here. If you're an MF Doom fan, your favorite song, put it in the comments. All caps when you speak the man's name. Does every state have a rugby team or only Georgia? Oh, God, we're going to get another ignorant person not understanding that there's a country called Georgia and there's a state in the U.S. called Georgia. Does every state have a rugby team or only Georgia? If America was a comment. It's a country, mate. Once again, like context, I would like some more context for the post. Like, what post are they commenting on is what I'm curious about. Is it like the Georgian rugby team? They're watching games? Like, does every state have a rugby team or only Georgia? Anyways, yeah, there's a country in the Baltics or Eastern Europe, near Siberia, called Georgia. And there's a state in the U.S. called Georgia. Georgia peach, baby. To be fair, knowing if someone is talking about Georgia, you probably need to check if it's the state or the country. Of course, you can say that Georgia produces nuts, and it's right for them both. Okay, I'm not fond of how many people in Ireland treat Irish Americans. They get outright told they aren't Irish at all. I mean, they have Irish heritage, I guess, but they're not Irish. I mean, they don't have an Irish passport. Opinion on Ireland. I have a different viewpoint to add. I'm not fond of how many people in Ireland view or sometimes treat Irish Americans or those of some Irish descent who take pride in their heritage. I've heard plenty of stories where they get outright told they aren't Irish. Irish people will have no problem with you talking about your heritage, just don't go too wild on the folk tales and fairy stuff. They will have a problem with you claiming to be Irish when you're clearly American. This is interesting because, like, at my job, I was just thinking a couple months back, we had a workshop, and we kind of went around the room and everybody would introduce themselves, and it was in relation, a lot of the workshop had to do with heritage and things like that, and some people would introduce themselves like, well, I have this heritage and that heritage, and I'm part this, I'm part that. It's interesting how some people take pride, or some people even wish to note like where their ancestors may have come from. I'm certainly not one to like announce that when I'm like, I don't really care that much. Like I do, but I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, on a post about America being the land of the free, we're the oldest real country in the world. America. This is if America was a comment. I could argue that you're the oldest fake country in the world. Yeah. Stupidity knows no bounds. Not Europeans, they don't have it. Yeah, we have free will. Brother, everybody has free will. What? Not Europeans, they don't have it. Yeah, everybody knows that Europeans have no free will. They can't do anything that they wish to do. No hiking allowed. No day trips where you want to go. You can't go to that restaurant. You can't move. You can't travel. You can't do nothing. You just got to stay in your box. I'm going to stop reading this article because it makes me want to bitch slap some people. Pardon my French. Why do people always assume people not from America know American state abbreviations? What's PA? When I look at PA, well, now in the context of this whole video, we've been talking about America quite a bit. Pennsylvania, but it also would be a public announcement or Pennsylvania. Did you skip third grade? But if I had not been thinking about the U.S. at all, and I saw PA, it depends on the context of what, like, they're saying what's PA, but how was it used? And like, anyways, heck, as an American, I don't always know every state's abbreviation offhand. Some of them are completely nonsensical. California's is CA, which is sensible, but Montana's is MT and Missouri's is MO. Yeah, some of them don't make sense. That's life. Europe is depressing. It has nothing other than museums and old buildings. Why are Americans so poor? They have high wages. Do they somehow all end up in healthcare bills? Quite useless then. Top 15 countries by wealth per adult in 2024. You have Iceland coming in number 1. Luxembourg, Australia, Belgium, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Denmark, Switzerland, UK, Norway, Canada, France, Netherlands, Italy, USA. Europe is depressing as nothing other than museums and old buildings. Food is expensive and portions are small. A glass of water costs €3. Hotels have no coffee or free parking. People wear black and slip around on wet cobblestone streets with walls covered by graffiti. Wow. Wild. All right, let's end it there for today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.